Hey, Trevor McAleese here, your candidate for Kelowna City Council. So there's been a fair bit of housing policy related stuff going on here in Kelowna worth talking about. But for the sake of focus, let's get into what's hip and happening with short-term rentals, because investor-owned Airbnbs are back. The BC government has granted Kelowna its sought-after early exemption to the principal residency requirement based on us logging 2 years back-to-back of vacancy above the required threshold. Eligible properties in Kelowna will be able to operate as Airbnbs without the pretense that these are the homes of the property owners in question. This exemption took effect June 1st, which is the result of the City of Kelowna's frankly very effective lobbying of the province to not just waive the principal residency requirement, but make it snappy. Average long-term rent has been seeing a small but sustained decline over recent months, so now we get to live and observe whether the Mayor and Council-supported Made in Kelowna approach to investor-owned short-term rentals doesn't torpedo long-term rental affordability. I, for one, would prefer greater assurance than just a trust me bro. And tying into this, City staff a month ago recommended that Kelowna take steps to reassign where a special tax on short-term rental stays gets directed. See, the city collects a 3% room tax on revenue pulled in by short-term rentals, taxes that currently contribute in their entirety to Kelowna's Affordable Housing Fund. That fund can be used by the city to purchase land, for instance, in partnership with BC Housing or different nonprofit organizations, to get not just affordable, but non-market housing built. We're talking subsidized and below-market units, which may include access to support services, such as for adults with developmental disabilities, for seniors who cannot live independently, for women and children fleeing violence, for people transitioning out of homelessness, housing for some of our most vulnerable residents, housing that is well outside what any for-profit developer will ever build. This 3% tax means Airbnbs and Verbos were actually contributing something positive and tangible to at least partially offset their impact on our housing affordability crisis. If the province once again succumbs to the city's advocacy, that tax on short-term rentals will be able to go towards whatever council feels like. The specific suggestion by staff that council supported was that those taxes on Airbnbs, instead of flowing into that housing fund, go towards supporting big-ticket events, attracting major names, paying for security, rather than investing in forms of critically needed housing for vulnerable residents, spending on tourist-attracting spectacle. Kelowna's record in getting that critically needed non-market housing built ain't great. The city's revitalization tax exemption, which seeks to incentivize rental housing development by offering a decade-long break on property taxes, has only seen 10 non-profit-led projects approved since the program began in 2012. And a recent report from city staff reads, despite clear improvements in the vacancy rate for market rental, the development of non-market rental has not been able to scale up in the same way and continues to be severely undersupplied. We have real issues in our rental housing market, and vacancy rate alone is not the ultimate tell as to its health or whether supply is actually meeting demand. Are these incentives working as intended, or do they need to be improved? Are taxes being spent on the right things? These are bread and butter issues for City Council. And I can tell you, there's at least one frozen-faced schmuck out here who's interested in getting on there to make sure that this city's housing policy is serving your interests.